Geometry Dash is one of the most hackable games out there. All you need is $5 and you can do whatever you want. Now obviously, there's been many players to abuse the horrible security of the game. Cyclic, Andromeda, Xander, etc, etc. But I want to talk about hackers that are, well, unlikable. I'm sure you're thinking, aren't all hackers unlikable? Well, not really. The 3 hackers I just mentioned are actually loved by the community. I'm not gonna go over why or how, it's just how it is. So I mentioned the good hackers, but I'm gonna go over the annoying hackers. Players that did worse than just hack. From shutting people's mouths that are trying to rightfully expose you, to cyberbullying a struggling player. These are annoying hackers. It's 2015. GD has never been more at its peak. The top player scene is insane. Around this time, Bloodbath was verified by the top player Riot and was by far the hardest verified level. Before it was verified, the player Cyclic was also creating his very own top 1 level, Sonic Wave. It was brutal and had wave gameplay that was insane for its time, and it was 2 minutes long. But as I said before, Cyclic was a hacker and hacked not only Sonic Wave, but everything, according to him. But many others including me believe he only hacked 2 levels, Sonic Wave and another level called the Hell Zone. After Cyclic confessed in early 2016, the race to verify Sonic Wave only heated up. There were 3 competitors, Riot, Mafui, and this guy called Quir. Mafui dropped the level after getting 98% in March, meaning it was just Riot and Quir would get 90% sometime later. But there was something weird with Quir. He just came out of the woodworks and was beating the hardest levels with ease. Now that alone would get a lot of suspicion today, but back then people just accepted it. Now were they a hacker? Well, not really. You see, Quir was actually a secret gang of some of the best players in the game, and Mafiri was the one making progress on Sonic Wave for them. But how did we find this out? Well, Aurora's decided to be a snitch and told the public, which is a really punchable move. But we're not done. A few months later, in October, the level Athanatos by Xanity and more would get finished and was given to Auroras to verify, and he would quote-unquote verify Athanatos on the 4th of November 2016. Looking at the video he provided is, well, a no-clip piece of crap. The reason for this is he supposedly beat it off camera and he gave a no-clipped video instead. Yeah, sure. This would get proven false a few days later, and the player Sonics would verify Athanatos on the 12th of November 2016, and would then verify Sonic Wave on the 25th. Now this isn't much, but it's gonna get worse as the video goes on. The next player that I'll be mentioning is Exen. Whenever you search up a level in GD, 99% of the time you see a showcase of it instead of a legit completion. Now Nexus is the only showcaser I watch because his icons are nice and he's mostly legit on what he uploads. The reason I'm saying this is because Exen is a showcaser who goes by the name Nero, which is a pretty mid name. Exen started playing the game in mid-2016, and his first major level he hacked was Bloodbath in late 2017, and then would hack many more extremes in 2017 to 2018. In mid-2018, he would make his own version of unnerved Succuban circles and quote-unquote verify it 7 years earlier. In December 2018, he would steal and hack verify the level Fusion Z. And let me just say this, if you have the ego to steal someone else's verification, you don't deserve to be loved by your parents. In 2019, he would pull an AdV and falsely copyright strike videos exposing him, but he would thankfully retract the strikes. In March 2019, he stole and hack verified the unnerved version of Innards without the creator's permission. He would then start to showcase levels in 2021, which is what he still does today. Now, unlike Cyclic, Andromeda, or Xander, Exen did not once confess, despite getting exposed multiple times, and his hacked videos are still available to watch. This guy also pulled a 3000 IQ move and used a macro when live streaming, which not even Space UK was dumb enough to do that. Sadly, this guy has over 500,000 subscribers because little kids won't even watch what you make and they'll subscribe. But there's one more hacker left to mention. Let's go back to 2015. A player by the name of Chaotic Jumper would create an impossible level called Death Corridor, but there's just one part that pushes it outside our skill level. He would then update the level and change the one impossible part into a less impossible part. He would then upload a slightly different version of the level, but it was nerfed to be possible, but still very hard. The player Kugelblitz would see this and upload 60 to 100 on the possible version, and Chaotic would give Kugel permission to verify the level. Fast forward to mid-2017 and a player called Noctifly, who was the verifier of Zafkiel and was the #1 player on the leaderboards, would attempt to verify Death Corridor without Chaotic's permission. Noctifly would cyberbully Kugel for taking too long on the level, as if Kugel doesn't have a life, and attempted to accuse Kugel of autoing the level. He would then quit GD in September and would come back in October and would again attempt to verify the level without permission. He would then quote-unquote verify the level in October 2017, and as the title of this video says, none of what Noctifly did regarding the level was legit. Kugel, Sonics, and the player Tosh Deluxe were growing suspicions on Noctifly's verification of the level. So they put info together and Tosh uploaded all the evidence they had on Noctifly. And after 4 videos exposing him, Noctifly came out and confessed, but not out of his own will, because he was forced to. I also find it ironic how Tosh was part of exposing Noctifly and attempting to expose another player called Meteus for using invisible pads, when this is exactly what Tosh did to hack verified Devil Vortex 2 years later. But that's not a relevant story. Noctifly cyberbullied Kugel, a 60Hz player, for taking too long to verify an extremely hard level. He led the community to cyberbully Kugel too, stole Kugel's verification twice, and confessed because he was forced to. And that's why I find Noctifly to be the most annoying hacker in Geometry Dash. If I made any mistakes regarding these 3 players, please let me know down below in the comments, and I'll acknowledge it, if you're calm. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.